This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/Run, Eat, Drink podcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going. And we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Donna Deegan, Chief Eternal Optimist of the Donna Foundation and founder of Donna Marathon Weekend. You're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, and welcome to episode 211 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show. And guess what, guys?
We're recording it
live. That's right. This is a live recording of the episode. So we have put it out on social media. We are encouraging people to pop in, listen in, and join in on tonight's episode, which I think is going to be a pretty special episode for a number of reasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you like to enumerate those reasons now?
Well, I mean, do we need to do it alphabetically in order of importance?
He always gives me so much grief when I sound too formal.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes. No.
And use words like enumerate.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, first and foremost, if you're on the video stream, you're seeing me holding what appears to be a bottle of bubbly. This is a bottle of, and I'm going to mispronounce this.
Of course.
Freixenet,
I guess.
Alcohol removed premium sparkling wine. And we're popping the bubbly tonight because tonight, as we are recording this episode, is day 75
Yay!
Of our 75 hard challenge. Round 2 for you, round 2 3/4 for me.
Hello, Kelly. Hello, Darlene.
And hello, Bob.
Yay.
Over on YouTube. Welcome. Thank you guys for dropping in. If you are dropping into the chat tonight, please tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're drinking, kind of like we would do on one of our regular Wednesday night beer chats. Yeah.
Well, we just call them Wednesday Night Live now because we don't necessarily have beer.
Especially when we're on the 75 hard challenge, like we have been for the last 75 days.
Sometimes we have coffee. Sometimes we have water.
And I'm going to see if I can pop this without A, hurting myself or anybody else, and B, if we can get a good sound effect here.
Hey!
Hey! Welcome to the celebration. Welcome to the party, everybody.
Yay!
This is alcohol removed wine, or as I have been jokingly referring to it for the duration of this, grape juice with extra steps.
Yes.
And actually, it's not grape juice with extra steps. These that we've been trying are actually surprisingly accurate to the beverage they are attempting to recreate. And this one, I believe, is like the last one that we have not tried from the options that we purchased. So here we go. And we now have JoJo in the chat over on Facebook.
JoJo,
welcome,
how are you?
JoJo.
This alcohol removed sparkling white wine is from Freixenet, and it is produced in Spain in a town I cannot pronounce. I'm not even going to try.
I am, for the benefit of the camera, for those watching, I'm going to hold this up to the camera so they can see the label.
Yes. So it just says it's produced in Spain. The result is a fresh, fruit-forward, sparkling wine that caters to health and wellness. Well, it's alcohol-removed wine. And that caters to the health and wellness of the health-conscious consumer and can be enjoyed at any moment.
Well, I can think of no moment better than this right here. So
Refreshing tropical notes, elegant citrus hints, lively, fruity, especially refreshing. It fills your mouth and expresses the good quality of a base wine. Very well balanced acidity. Medium-sized bubbles produce a very pleasant mouthfeel. Can be enjoyed on its own or paired with charcuterie and cheese boards. Yum! Grilled meats, steamed vegetables, and desserts. Alcohol-free, no ABV.
Okay. Well, I can think of no better moment than right now. So congratulations on completing 75 hard again.
Yeah.
Prior to us coming on the air tonight, we actually did our final workout, our final 2-a-day workout for the challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in the history books. This one's in the rear view.
Yeah.
So yay. And if you're not familiar with what 75 hard is, of course, we've talked about it on previous episodes.
Sure.
This is a mental toughness challenge devised by one of our favorite podcasters, Andy Frisella. And Andy has a podcast called the Real AF Podcast. Highly recommend you go over there and check him out. And he formulated this challenge. It's part fitness challenge, part self-improvement challenge, but really the whole thing is a mental toughness challenge.
Yes.
And I thought that maybe for our pre-show banter, we would talk a little bit about completing it and lessons learned from this round.
Okay.
You first.
Yeah. Oh, I have to go first. You just
gotcha.
You just said it.
No,
now
I know.
I have to think of it.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Hello to JoJo, who is drinking some great wine. Blueberry wine.
Yeah.
Makes me think of country songs, but that's strawberry wine. So, and I would just like to say
Rhonda Lee's making it international.
Hello
Rhonda Lee.
to Rhonda Lee and longtime supporter of the show, John Schroeder. We
Schroeder.
love you. And there are so many shout outs to be had from the previous race weekend as well.
There are. We'll get to those.
Don't let me forget them.
No, we'll go right into the shout outs.
Okay.
I will go first because I wasn't going to do that to you.
Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
I think that for me, this go round of doing this, like I said, for me, this is 2 3/4 time doing it, because the first time I got to day 68 and ended up having to start over. Second time I completed it. This time I completed it. For me, this has been a little bit about being adaptable. And I say that because in this round of 75 hard, I have been dealing with my knee, and I have been dealing with tendonitis in my Achilles tendon. So whereas
that is entirely true.
In the previous attempts and the completion of 75 hard, I was doing 2-a-day runs. This time I didn't. And I'm really glad that I didn't. It's given me an opportunity to branch out a little bit and try something that you introduced me to, which is yoga.
Yeah.
And
I'm so excited about that.
And I can actually tell you that my data from my Garmin shows that my resting heart rate has come down. My daily blood pressure from my blood pressure checks, daily average is down. And lower back pain has substantially decreased. I'm fortunate enough to be in a line of work where I've had to wear a very heavy belt for a good portion of my career, sit a lot of my career, and I also have a previous back injury from high school where I actually have a back fracture. Yeah. So lower back pain, previous injuries from martial arts, all of those things kind of, coalesce when you get into your, late 40s. And I'm really happy with the result that I'm seeing. So much so that I've purchased my own yoga mat, bought a yoga bolster. I got like the gear now. It's official.
He did. I am so proud of the way that I really didn't know how you were going to take to the yoga.
I didn't either. Now, I had a background.
You always tease me about it.
Well, I'll walk by her and go, namaste, but I'm not making fun of it. I know that it's got a lot of benefits, and I have a little background with like stretching and flexibility from martial arts, but not the like pure yoga part. And it's been really, really nice. So Something I'm going to continue on, I think.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, first I would just like to say
all the time I can.
Hello to Rhonda Lee, who says, love that you guys celebrated with charcuterie. Sadly, not yet.
No. What Amy was reading about the charcuterie is what the Freixenet recommends you pair this with.
Uh-huh.
I would love a charcuterie.
So would I.
But we actually can't have animal products until tomorrow.
Until like after midnight. But
I won't be awake.
But Rhonda Lee says, I indulged with a Lunchable.
Well, that's charcuterie.
That's charcuterie.
You can call
after
that,
her run.
Yeah, that's tactical charcuterie.
Yes. And necessary. Oh, I like tactical charcuterie. Do you think that could be a hashtag?
Oh, I think you can make a product out of that. You put a Lunchable in a black box with like military writing on it, or a brown box, like brown see-through, make it look like an MRE and call it a tactical.
Oh, that would be great.
Tactical charcuterie. Okay, I'm trademarking that right now because I think I'm going to do that.
Oh,
so we can retire.
Okay.
So you could have your tactical charcuterie with a cup of Black Rifle coffee,
or with a what?
Cup of Black Rifle coffee.
Excellent. And Black Rifle could sponsor the whole like ad campaign.
Hey, Black Rifle.
We're just saying we love your coffee, and
and we love Lunchables.
What does JoJo say? What did she say?
Hey, Trip Billy's over on
the
tubes, and
thank you.
And
what did she say? I still need.
She still needs
to try out the yoga. I hope you like it. I'm so happy that.
Tell everybody what you sent her.
I'm so happy that you got turned on to yoga. I got turned on to yoga. 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. And it's Eckhart Yoga, and they have a channel on YouTube. And within it, they have several different kinds of playlists, but one specifically is for runners. And I found it when I was having some unhappiness in my IT band, if you will. Unhappiness, that's the thing, right? In your IT band, I guess. And it really it helped me. And so I went further and I subscribed to their online platform, their website, where you can search by duration, you can search by purpose, you can search by whatever factors, if you need like for your lower back pain, or if you need arms, or you really want to work on your core. It is excellent. And Esther, we've had on the show before last year in August, and that's still up on runeatdrink.net. Under the shows tab, you can find it. You can search for Eckhart Yoga or Esther Eckhart. And she talked about her passion for yoga and what Eckhart Yoga provides. But that's how I found yoga, and that is what I sent to JoJo, the free playlist for runners on YouTube from Eckhart Yoga. And I hope that you enjoy that, and I hope that you do get to try it out, and it does help you the way it really helped me. And related to that, and related to your question about what I got out of this round of 75 hard, I was focused so much on the physical aspects during the first round that we had. So much on the fitness. And like you said, you were doing the 2-a-day runs, and I was really trying to get in good shape. And I still need to do that. I still need to take off some holiday weight, etc.
Well, I think that our plan is to do some shredding later, but
so
yeah.
This round was not so much about transformation of the body for me, more so transformation of the mind and the books, because you have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book
daily,
a day. And I think when we started to incorporate evening and or morning yoga, depending on the day and when we did it, but we had a yoga routine every day, I tried to incorporate some of the ones from the website that have a focus on stress relief, anxiety relief, and really, connecting to who you really are, and dealing with stress in your life, and what the books taught me. Because like yesterday on the coffee chat, I said that, I'm reading Jordan Peterson's book, the 12 Rules for Life. An antidote to the chaos.
Yes.
I think is the subtitle. And I also read, what's the first one with the orange cover?
The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And those were just, I mean, I'm still in the midst of Jordan Peterson's book, and I will finish it, but it's
a good book. That's one that I read, but it's a slog. It's really
thoughtful.
More dense.
It's thoughtful and thought provoking, and you really have to stop and think about what he's talking about. But the Subtle Art, that one, it's just really, you have a finite amount of time on this planet, and you have to choose what to care about, because if you care about everything, then it's really, you do yourself a disservice. And because if you care about everything, then what truly matters to you? And I just love the message in that book. So those are the things that I focused on this time I really felt like my soul needed. And I don't know if that makes sense to anybody or if that's helpful to anybody, but if it is, there you go. Yeah. That was probably super long and boring of an answer, but there you go.
I think that's great. And, you know, if anybody's interested in the books that we selected during this week and share them on like a social media post, we'll send you guys some
Hey, Atomic
Amazon
Habits
links.
Was fantastic.
Atomic Habits was one that we both read. Mm-hmm. Yep, that was another one. And I
even think I messaged Main Street Miles Meg Brower about it. And it's just so simple that the act of doing simple things, greatness comes not from one huge act, but from several small habits repeated and reinforced.
Yeah.
That was also fantastic. So it is a great book too. So from this round, it was all about that mental toughness for me.
Very nice.
And emotional well-being and like your emotional health.
I love it. Yeah. And that explains to people who are joining us late on the video as to why we are sipping what looks to be champagne, although it is alcohol removed.
Yeah.
And I will top yours off.
Thank you.
And while I'm doing that, why don't we talk about shout outs for this week?
Hey, shout outs. I believe that we have JoJo here in the chat, and I'm so happy that we do. And I know we have Darlene. I don't think we have Susie tonight, but maybe Darlene can tell her that we talked about her, or maybe her ears will be burning. Maybe that thing is actually true.
Maybe.
I don't know. And I think we have Kelly also here in the chat, or I'm hoping that we do. And I don't know if we have Jessica, because she has been a very, very busy woman.
Yeah, she has.
So I hope she's taken time for herself. So these are the ones that I know of from this past weekend, that Susie and JoJo continued to dominate their 50 states quest, and did the Indy Mini Marathon, which was a half marathon in Indy, with one half of Team Noisy, Rudy Novotny.
Yeah.
So fabulous. And I really want to thank JoJo from the bottom of my heart for getting a picture with him.
Yes.
That meant everything. That was so great. Watching you two kiss the bricks. Amazing.
And I had so much FOMO. This one was on our published list of races we were going to do. We unfortunately had to pivot.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do it this year. And it would have been so much fun to be there
with you.
And your photos that you guys posted were so great, and it looked like an absolute blast. Mm-hmm. And the medal
looked great.
I'm
just
bling driven. The medal looked incredible.
So neat.
So proud of you guys.
So neat. Yeah, we loved it. So while you were with one half of Team Noisy, we were the other half, and we will talk about that in the run segment of our show.
And speaking of Team Noisy, we have Rudy Novotny in the Facebook chat. Hello, Rudy. Thank you for dropping in.
Wow.
So we got half a Team Noisy here. We
were just talking about him.
We were.
Oh, the picture of you and JoJo in the Coffee Crew shirt. I really want that blue shirt that she had, but I hope that you continue to announce that race, Rudy. And I would love to have both of you there, but regardless, I hope that you continue to announce that race. And I hope that next year we can make it there, because any race with you and Fitz is a special and different kind of race.
Absolutely. And Amy's gotten teary. So we really do. We love your races, and we love the fact that our Runcation Nation got to see you. Josh is in the chat. Hello, our executive producer. In addition to our associate producer, we got the whole production crew here tonight.
That's
great. And Trip is in here. And
JoJo says downtown Indianapolis was awesome. I don't know what the best.
Josh just drove past Indianapolis.
Hey, because he's on the way to Chicago.
He's en route to Chicago, yes.
I don't know what the best meal was that maybe Rudy or JoJo or Susie happened to have. I just wonder about that. But if you have, if you know, or if you have decided, if you can recall, if you can put in the chat, we would love to learn for future runcations at the Indy Mini, because we have to make up for lost time.
And Rudy, you are very kind. Rudy says we're fantastic. No, you're fantastic. And that it would be better with us here. We agree. And we can't wait to do it. Hopefully we'll get to see you there next year, because that is absolutely one that's on my bucket list.
Yes, and I do hope that we can have you. I don't know if I actually hit send, but I sent Rudy an email and asked him for the honor of coming on our show. So
excellent.
I really hope that he will.
Check your inbox, Rudy.
So, yeah. Yeah. Just a little Star Trek.
Now,
but we also had other members
shout-outs
of the Runcation Nation. And I think this is the first time we ever have seen somebody, actually two members of the Runcation Nation, Kelly and Jessica, are marathoners from the Donna Marathon weekend.
Yes.
They ran on the beach, a 10-miler.
I feel like we were passing them. We were coming, they were going, and
in Cocoa Beach.
We left Cocoa Beach. They showed up in Cocoa Beach.
Yeah.
And that looked like an absolute blast, although it was, wasn't it? Did I read it correctly that it was Jessica's first beach run?
I believe so. And
she was posting like explanations as to why in the world everything hurt so much. Because and her post, I think it was her post where she posted something that said that the reason a beach run is so difficult, why runners are like, oh my gosh, it's
Rudy so probably knows, because he has such experience running. So
this is true.
It's in addition to fabulous race announcing. So
there's that. He's been on both sides of the mic.
Yeah.
But she posted this great post that explains the physics of it.
Yeah.
Getting all sciencey about it and how,
which I'm sure he loved. He
loves
that science stuff.
I absolutely do. The biomechanics of it. And it talks about how the fact that the sand does not give you that equal and opposite reaction your heel is expecting.
Ooh.
And it basically forces you to pull yourself forward with your heel.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, it's you use different muscles in different ways, I imagine, when you have that kind of surface uneven and
It's just like when we're walking on the beach, same thing. If you're wanting an easier time of it, you go down to the hard pack closer to the water. If you're wanting to get more of a workout,
I wonder if they were afraid, like I was, that we were going to run into man-o-war.
I really hope that the race announcers. Okay, we were in Cocoa Beach the week before y'all's race,
and we saw them.
There were Portuguese man-o-wars washing up on the shore, and if you're not familiar with what those are, they're basically a giant jellyfish that has a sack that floats on top of the water with 12-foot tentacles that hang from the bottom, and its sting is more than a little inconvenient. It'll put you in the hospital. So they were washing up on shore. Just saying. So I'm glad that y'all didn't experience that, and your race looked like a blast.
They were very successful, and then they went and they indulged and explored the local food and beverage, and had a great meal. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kelly's reporting that there were no man-o-wars.
Oh, good.
Good.
And I believe that Jessica bought a coffee mug and brought it home.
Yes.
Which she posted. So, I mean, I'm wearing our coffee crew shirt. I love coffee. So, you know me. Coffee. It's the way to be. Oh, sorry.
Any other shout outs?
Well, it kind of leads us into the running segment, this one.
Yeah, well, we didn't even preview and let everybody know, of course.
Yeah.
On this week's show, we are going to be talking about the other half of Team Noisy's race. Rudy was up in Indy. Fitz was down in Jacksonville, Florida.
So happy.
For the Donna Mother's Day 5K, hence the pink breast cancer awareness shirt for the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. And she was announcing that race. So we're going to be talking about that race.
And shout out to her, by the way, for her Spartan.
Yes, she literally finished the race that morning.
Announcing, and doing the awards and all of that.
And hopped on a plane to go to Montana to do a Spartan. So, yeah.
Bam.
I mean, wow. And she posted some great photos. I think her profile picture on Facebook now is like an action shot of her leaping over something on the course. So, super, super cool.
Shout out to her. And also shout out to Dean and Judy.
Yes.
Who did the Black Knight DONNA Mother's Day 5K with us. I mean, they were faster, but they participated as well. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that race, of course. We're also going to be talking about a Florida-grown food establishment that has, I think, 4 or 5 locations throughout the state of Florida.
Yes.
Not just in Jacksonville, but all over the state. And that's Vale Food Company, who really focuses on fresh food served quickly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it fresh or I wouldn't call it fast food. Fresh food served quickly. And then we're going to talk about drinks from a location that is a booze-free bar.
Alcohol-free.
Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. So let's talk running. Come on.
Yes. Oh, well, JoJo says that Fitz, she just started reading Fitz's book, which is right behind us on the set. This My Noisy Cancer Comeback, Running at the Mouth While Running for My Life, which I read while I was on the 75 Hard Challenge and was... And I listened to listened to the audiobook as well. Just such great life lessons, not just surrounding a battle with cancer, but just a way to live life and a philosophy and a passion. And, you know, if you listen to her interview on our show, then you know about her positivity and her just inspiring way. So she announced, as we said, the Black Knight DONNA Mother's Day 5K. Amanda Napolitano from the DONNA Foundation, executive director, was kind enough to invite us to that race in Jacksonville. So we headed to Jacksonville last weekend on the Saturday before Mother's Day.
Yes.
To participate.
And it was just a quick 4.5, 5 hour drive up, no big deal.
No
big deal.
No big whoop. It was good. It was good.
It actually was. We are going to do an episode of road trip eats, like snacks, like best snack foods to get from gas stations. That's coming. So be ready for that one.
It'll be good.
But we headed up there. The DONNA Foundation has races down pat.
They do.
They're, regardless of where they host them, and they do move locations for things like packet pickup or expos and all that from time to time, as venues sometimes can be difficult to secure. This is our first time doing the 5K, and they picked a cool little spot in an area of near downtown Jacksonville in the Riverside district, which is it's downtown adjacent. It's basically across the river from downtown. And
well, we've been there before. The very first time we ever ran the Donna Marathon weekend, we featured black sheep from that area.
Yes.
Of town.
We have.
Great food in that area of town.
Yeah. Different episode, but you can go back on runeatdrink.net, search for black sheep, and you'll find it. It's killer.
The pasta was great.
But the location they found is a historic building that is called Friday Musicale. And it's a strange name, but the venue is like a small performance venue.
It feels like a home to me. Feels on the outside, it looks very classic.
Like columns and it is.
So
inside it's got some performance space, like a stage, wood flooring.
Yeah.
It's a neat older building. And it was perfect. We got there and the packet pickup was just so seamless. There was absolutely nothing that was going on. Basically, we were greeted. Amanda greeted us, and then
I can't believe
Fitz greeted us, and
that was amazing.
We're like, oh, I guess we after we like reconnected and talked for a little while and all that, then we ended up, we got to go grab our packets and get our stuff.
Yeah.
And, we were able to
it was great.
Get in and out.
And they set up in there in that performance space. So Fitz was there with her book, and Trip, I highly recommend it, by the way. So you say you need that book? Yes, you do. So Fitz was there autographing her book and selling, and the proceeds, some of the proceeds were going to the Donna Foundation. There was packet pickup. There was outside, there was a beverage stand where you could get water, you could get adult beverages, you could get soda there, whatever you wanted was there. So it was truly a happy hour. And
they also had some event sponsors to include a Volkswagen dealership and a BMW dealership, and they were the official pace cars for the race, and they were their electric vehicles. So you got to see some of the new slick automobiles out there, and check those out. And you could also see the area which was going to also be the post-race party location.
Yes.
And right outside the building, there's this little grassy area with old oak trees, and they had
beautiful.
That was where the drink stands was set up, and then they also had the big the running pink ribbon. They had like big ones set up that you could take photos with.
The Donna Marathon weekend has this signature ribbon. It is the breast cancer awareness ribbon with arms on it, so it looks like it's running.
Yeah,
which is great.
Arms and legs.
You know what I mean. Come on.
Tesla, as Josh is saying, #Tesla. There were no Teslas there, but they did have those two. That was the signature car dealerships had their wares to show off. Yeah. And they were pretty cool, I have to say.
Yes.
So a far cry from the 18 miles per gallon we got on the Jeep going up there. But, yeah.
Oh, so the packet pickup happy hour, that was fantastic.
It really was. A lot of fun. A lot of people were matriculating from there to other areas in the Riverside 5 Points region. They're right next to Riverside's 5 Points. Lots of bars, restaurants, just great nightlife.
Yeah, really good options.
So we ended up doing dinner down there that night.
At Hoptinger.
At Hoptinger. And that's a tap house.
They have an extensive beer list.
64 beers on tap, plus a variety of house-made food. So we ended up doing that. But that's not the food option we're going to be talking about this week. What else is there really to say about the packet pickup? Super seamless. Parking was across the street. It was as convenient as you could ask for it to be.
Available and there, and it was just a smooth process.
Yeah. So the race itself,
the morning parking was also pretty seamless because we had a parking garage available to us.
Yes.
Not very
free
close.
parking in a parking garage.
Very close to the start. And they'll tell you in the pre-race instruction email that you can park in the parking garage, gave the address and said you just have to be out of the garage by 11. Well, the race started at what? 8?
8.
So it's a 5K.
Yeah.
No sweat. I mean, yeah. So the parking was great, not too far. They had packet pickup the morning of just for people who couldn't get there on Friday, which was nice.
It was very nice.
And your packet came in a drawstring bag with lots of different goodies.
Yeah, really sturdy drawstring bag. I think they had like a Muscle Ache cream as one of the giveaways, some hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Some local like medical information, like clinics for sports medicine, I think, something like that.
Yeah. So it was good. Physical therapy information, those kinds of things. So
I believe that was some of the information for the PT folks that were there race day.
Cora, yeah.
Doing giving you the option for like a post-race massage.
Yes. So that was good. When we arrived from our hotel, we drove in and we stayed at the same hotel we normally stay at because it's 20 minutes from everything in Jacksonville.
Yeah, if you're traveling to the Jacksonville area, the Bay Meadows area of Jacksonville puts you very centrally located to just about everything.
Yeah, so we were not too far, about 20 minutes from the start. We parked in the parking garage, walked to, and then we could, as we approached, hear Fitz on the mic.
Oh yeah.
As we arrived.
She was getting the crowd ready to rock in the morning first thing. So she was pre-announcing the race.
Yes, there were
the crowd.
There were porta potties there. There were restrooms inside Friday Musical with the packet pickup, and there was also coffee from Southern Grounds.
I was gonna say Southern Grounds, which is
Neptune Beach.
Yeah, Neptune Beach. I believe they have another location also.
They do, yes.
But they are always the place we converge on for the Donna Marathon weekend social shakeout run for the pre-5K.
Fantastic oatmeal, grits bowl, like you name it, avocado toast. It's all good.
In fact, we ended up getting breakfast there back in February with Josh.
Yeah.
Who's in the chat over on YouTube.
So fabulous stuff at the start. And we got a pre-race photo with Fitz. We were lucky enough to do that. And she was very kind to shout out our show.
Yes. Yeah, very, very nice.
And to recognize that we're running in honor of your mom.
Yes.
So fabulous pre-race experience. And then they divided us into, or Fitz gave the direction of, okay, we're going to have the runners line up first, and then we're going to have the walkers go. So she let and that was kind of where I was like, we're run walkers. What should we do? So we kind of hopped in the back of the running crowd.
Yeah. And it worked out great.
Yeah. So I hope we didn't offend any of the runners who were like, I'm here to run. But yeah, we just kind of tried to find that balance in between the runners and walkers and started at the back of the running pack. And our course took us all through that area around Friday Musical and the neighborhoods that we were describing. The weather was fantastic because of a rainstorm that had passed through the evening before.
Yeah, just enough rain to kind of knock the heat down. And the race started early enough and was finished early enough that you didn't get a lot of really bad humidity.
Or heat, for that matter.
Now, the first part of the race, as you leave Friday Musical, it's all on paved roads.
Yes.
All flat. Mm-hmm. No overpasses.
And it was excellent in terms of the security of the course.
Yes. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was there on site doing an amazing job of traffic control. They're always smiling. They always cheer you on, wave at you. You know, they're very appreciative when if you say, thank you for, working the detail and being out here on your off time. So it was great seeing all of the men and women of JSO out there. And the course, I mean, basically, you know, it starts out right there at Friday Musicale. It's an out and back course.
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, it's a loop course.
I mean, you know,
Your start and finish is the same location.
Place. Yeah.
And you end up going in through like a light commercial area initially, and then it makes a turn by a park, and it takes you into some residential areas with
nice houses,
nice older houses, but canopy shade trees.
I loved that.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, what is this devil magic?
You must know running trails where you have absolutely no shade. And if you are in the midst of your summer, whether you live in Florida or anywhere else, it is unforgiving when you have no shade. And it's just wonderful that we got through such great scenery and we had shade and cute dogs every mile.
Oh,
fantastic neighborhoods with dogs.
Yeah, we did a live stream during the race, and the comment was that there's a great dog per mile ratio that we were getting.
So true,
and it was very true.
So true.
Tons of cute dogs on the course.
Yeah,
and you know, we were so spoiled because, like you said, we don't get a lot of shade here.
No,
and in our neighborhood, if we're doing just short training runs, we don't get any. Unless you just happen to catch like 3 feet of shade at a time. Right. If you're running either really early or really late in the day when the sun is casting tiny shadows off of palm trees. So we don't get a ton of shade.
This was quite nice. So so the finish was fantastic as we turned a corner. We hit mile 3, we turned a corner. And it was Fitz on the mic and Donna Deegan who introduced this episode. She is the chief eternal optimist for the Donna Foundation. She's its namesake. She is a breast cancer survivor, very inspirational and motivational, kind soul. She was there cheering us on, taking photos and videos with her phone. Her husband was there, and Fitz came right out with her pink cowbell. And
that was great, by the way.
You were on my left, and she was on my right, and she took our hands, and we ran in together. And my greatest regret about that is that I was looking down in the fabulous photo she posted. You all were looking ahead, and I was looking down because I was afraid I was going to trip over the mats.
The timing.
So, you know, I'm a klutz.
Chip timing mats.
I'm such a klutz. Someday I'll trust myself enough to look up and get that finish line photo that so many people, Fitz at Boston included, have gotten. So it was a fantastic finish, and she hugged us, and there's a picture of that in the episode artwork, and I will always be grateful because when she announces a race, when she and Rudy announce a race, they know what the runners they've been there.
Yeah.
They've run it. They've run races, and they just make you feel that really great finish line feeling. Yeah.
No, 100%.
It's amazing. And the purpose of that race and the survivorship and love and the support for people who were battling.
And I was going to say,
so
much
amazing. Like
the Donna Marathon weekend, when you go to pack and pick up, they have survivor bibs. They have I'm running 4 bibs, and they had Sharpies out there for you to fill those out.
Yeah.
And seeing the number of survivors that were out there, and then when Fitz would see a survivor coming across the finish line, she would shout them out, run in with them, talk to the runner real quick and get their info about how long have you been, cancer free, how many years out. Yeah. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful to see. And I've got a snoring dog over here. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I mean, I want to show off for anybody that goes back and watches the live recording. This is the medal that Amanda talked about when we talked to her about this race last month.
Yes.
So this is that flower.
The lotus.
The lotus that just digs itself up from the mud and the muck, and was very symbolic and actually designed or inspired by a breast cancer survivor. And if you ever go to Fitz's YouTube channel, you will see a conversation that includes people who are battling breast cancer, one of whom is the one who came up with the design. Yeah. So it is that lotus flower right there. And it's also on the shirt. It's also on the pink kind of cotton feeling, very soft shirt, which says Black Knight DONNA Mother's Day 5K and Your Way, because you could do a virtual, which was 30 minutes of activity. That carried over from last year and carried over from the pandemic. And I was happy to see that, because not everybody can make it. Some people are traveling to see their mothers on Mother's Day. It's perfectly understandable.
Absolutely.
So this was on the shirt.
Yeah, it's a light pink shirt with a darker pink.
Darker pink lotus flower.
For those that aren't watching the video. I actually wore the shirt around all weekend after the race. It's true to size. Soft. They did a great job with selecting a high quality supplier for the shirts. So again, love the swag you get at Donna.
Yeah.
They always do it right.
They do. They do.
But after this race, Aim.
Yeah.
We worked up quite an appetite.
You were. I was hungry.
I was starving.
You know what? No lie.
Actually, let me rewind. We're not going to quite go to the food yet.
We're not.
No, because post race, you ended up. We ended up sticking around for awards, and you ended up going over to the PT tent and letting them do a little adjustment. I did.
I was so lucky, and it was nice to have them there, and they worked on anybody with, like, what is it, your back, is it your hamstrings, is it your quads, your IT band, what's screaming at you? And they were just such nice people.
And you're like, yes.
And they had charcuterie and that same tent of water and soda and wine or White Claw, because that is a strong connection and a sponsor of the Donna Foundation events.
Yes.
Very good sponsor. Very supportive sponsor. So,
and the water was free. Everything else you had to pay for.
So
not too bad.
It was all good.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
But yes, when we finished the race, I was starving. And normally I jokingly say that as our transition into the food segment, but
you do, but it's serious this time.
I'm serious.
So
like, I was getting hangry. She's like, all right, we'll get you something. Oh my gosh, let's go. And we ended up heading straight to get food. Like, there wasn't even we're going to go back to the hotel and change and all that. No. We went straight for food right afterward. And that was
great, because we wore our medals out. I had my pink tutu on, a la JoJo. So, I'm feeling inspired, and JoJo did it, to wear the tutus at a variety of races. She looked very, very good in her Indy inspired tutu.
Oh, absolutely.
At the Indy Mini Marathon. So it was nice, because then people asked about the race there, and we got to meet some really great people at Vale Food Company.
We did. And this is a location we had been eyeballing for a couple of trips. And
finally got there.
We finally got there. We actually were driving to Packet Pickup, and we're like, there it is.
Let's go.
So that's going to be one of our stops while we're here. And this, to me, this location, Vale Food Company, Vale, is indicative of a trend in restaurants that we're starting to see. And theirs is a little bit, it's unique. And it's a little bit of a hybrid concept. of course, you get all these restaurants that pop up. They're fast fresh. So what does that mean? Well, they serve it quickly. It's like a counter service, and the food is prepared fresh in the restaurant. They are very much in that vein, and there are a number of concepts that do that. In a variety of very popular Tex-Mex places do like a fast fresh Tex-Mex. This is a little bit different though. They are going with more healthful options, and some are vegan. Certainly, gluten-free seems to be a very driving factor in some of their choices of options that you can get. But basically it's a bowl. Like you're kind of building a bowl instead of like at a Tex-Mex place where you might be building a burrito.
Yeah. Or a bowl sans the burrito wrapper, the tortilla. So there's small, regular, and super bowls. And then there's family packs, which apparently are like, almost like catering.
Yeah.
Situation.
Which is nice to know that they have that option though.
Yeah. So we got a Super Bowl because
I was ready to gnaw my own arm off.
Very hungry. And that is you get three different bases, what they call bases, 2 vegetables, 3 proteins, what they call 2 boosts and 2 sauces. So bases can be there's Chipotle mac and cheese, people. It doesn't have to be like you said, it doesn't have to be gluten-free. It doesn't have to be vegan or vegetarian. You can indulge in some comfort food here.
Oh, absolutely. So
what I happened to get, though, was the sweet potato noodles. And who knew about those now?
Yeah, we've learned something on this trip, and it's now part of our Amazon order.
Yeah. And the lemon garlic kale. And I just love roasted kale with a little bit of balsamic as a snack. And this lemon garlic kale, just so delicious. But I got that, and I got a double dose of the sweet potato noodles. And it's not like they taste like sweet potatoes. They don't.
No, these are basically like a brown glass noodle. You would think it's made of like a rice noodle, but
it looks like that. It looks like that.
Yeah, it's translucent, very thin. This is a dish from Korean cuisine, or it's an item from Korean cuisine, and available on Amazon, or you could purchase it at probably Asian markets and all that.
Yeah.
We are adding it to our repertoire here at home. It was that good.
Yeah. But you also had the cilantro lime brown rice.
Yes, I did. I've gotten onto more of a brown rice kick than a white rice kick, but I love cilantro lime rice. Oh. And I also did the lemon garlic kale.
It's so good, Trip. I'm serious. She's talking about that.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And, they had other things. They had veggie quinoa. They had their standard rice, which is gluten-free but not vegan. And then, again, I really wanted the Chipotle mac and cheese, even though...
I really did, too. And they have sweet potatoes themselves, so you could, if you wanted to, go that way.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
So plenty of options for your bases.
And then we moved on to veggies, right?
Yeah.
And proteins, veggies and proteins. Roasted broccoli, buffalo cauliflower, balsamic mushrooms, turmeric, which has excellent health properties.
Yep. Anti-inflammatory, very tasty.
Turmeric, onions, and peppers.
It gives curry its yellow color.
So I got buffalo cauliflower and the turmeric, onions, and peppers. And
I went with the cauliflower and the mushrooms.
And did you get that good balsamic kind of vinegary kick?
A little bit. Yeah. I
not too tart though.
No, I love mushrooms. They are, if you're trying if you're avoiding meat, they're a great kind of a meaty umami option. But I like mushrooms anyway. I grew up just loving mushrooms and veggies anyhow.
Some people love them, some don't.
So. It was a great pick.
The turmeric, onions, and peppers, those were big. Those were big cuts, big slices. Yes. And they were just a touch sweeter than just normally grilling some onions and peppers. I would say, from the turmeric.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the buffalo cauliflower, not too spicy, just a hint of spice.
Yeah.
And you could make that, spicier when you get to the sauce situation.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm going to say.
And when you get to the proteins,
Yeah.
that's where you can go whatever direction you want to go.
Yes.
Because they have 1, 2, 3, I'm seeing
chicken,
four versions of chicken, a salmon, a shrimp, 2 salmons, a shrimp, a braised beef, ahi tuna,
salmon,
5 or another version of salmon. So they got ancho pulled chicken, buffalo chicken, Southwest chicken,
ahi tuna,
turkey spinach, feta meatballs, buffalo vegan tenders, which we did have. Those were textured vegetable protein with breading and then fried, and then those had a buffalo sauce on them.
Oh, they were great.
They have they have a teriyaki pow chickpea medley, coconut spice chicken tenders, lemon pepper salmon, teriyaki salmon, sautéed shrimp, braised beef,
impossible chorizo.
Yeah. And then
so good.
So yeah, you got all kinds of options. So if you want to go plant-based, you can. If you want to go surf, you can, or go turf.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do.
Beautiful.
They got you covered.
Beautiful.
And then your sauces.
Oh, yes.
You had what? An avocado Caesar, Chipotle ranch,
curry honey mustard,
honey sriracha, their house-made citrus vinaigrette.
That was excellent.
Very, very orange forward in that. And it was excellent.
But then they had a secret sauce.
Their secret hot sauce, which was like a,
I expected it to be like a buffalo situation.
It was like a sweet chili sauce.
So I was pleasantly surprised. Not that, I mean, I'll put buffalo on anything. You know me. Anybody. Yeah, the fast fresh place that we're talking about, Kelly, is Vale Food Company.
And they have 5 locations across the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And then they have these things called boosts. So these are more like toppings. Mm-hmm. So like you could get balsamic tomatoes, feta cheese,
spicy feta,
Parmesan cheese, corn salsa.
Yum.
Sunflower seeds, edamame.
With a crunch. Good crunch.
You know, shredded carrots, pickled onions.
Yeah, shaved almonds, guacamole, avocado slices, cilantro.
Buffalo chickpeas. Mm-hmm. So you kind of build your bowl as you go. And the pile of food huge. That you get.
I put it in the episode artwork. And I'll probably, we got several different angles of the bowl so you could see all the different parts of it, components. Mm-hmm. But it was, I fell in love with those noodles.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has had those noodles.
We're going to get those
noodles. Sweet potato noodles?
Yeah, I want to do the sweet potato noodles with a little gochujang and maybe some chicken or tofu and like scallions and carrot. And that's going to be delightful.
That's what I love about exploring and indulging local food and beverage is that it gives you inspiration for your own kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely. Oh, no, Josh, I don't know if you missed it. There were shrimp and fish options as well in the proteins. You had a couple of different versions of salmon, tuna. And
braised beef.
And then he said, sounds like all turf.
Oh.
So there was definitely some surf options there as well. And shrimp.
I feel like it was pretty well rounded.
Yeah. Again, lots of options.
Turkey, spinach, feta meatballs.
You couldn't really try everything. You know, you would have to come back multiple times to try everything.
Yeah, because not everything's going to go together.
It's not. And you could have a completely different bowl each time, which I really like about that.
And I like that they have the small and then the regular size and then the super kind of
Dana sized.
Yeah. I had it too. We were hungry. Their location is just very, it had like a brunch feel to me.
It did. It's very brightly colored, light colored wood. Mm-hmm. They use pretty high-end surfaces and materials in the construction of the store.
Yeah.
So it actually felt a little higher end. So like the table we sat at was either a marble or a very, very nice man-made marble top. And I was like, wow, this is really, really nice for a fast, fresh concept.
But they also have avocado toast. They have different kinds of toasts. They have...
Okay, that was what I was going to mention. So I said this is kind of a hybrid.
Yeah.
So this place has this whole aspect of it. And I think I took a photo of the smorgasbord of fresh pots of food that they are scooping from that are constantly being replaced. Mm-hmm. Then they have like the whole other half of the menu.
Yeah.
Which is pitaya bowls, acai bowls. If you're familiar with those concepts, we have a local place here we've actually featured on the show called Amaze Bowls.
Like that.
Where it's kind of like a super thick smoothie that you can eat with a spoon. Mm-hmm. They also, like you said, they did toasts. So you could do an avocado toast or a nut butter toast.
Which looked great.
And you could pick, you got like 2 toppings to go on it for free.
There's
and then you could add other stuff to it.
And yes.
So they had those options. So you pick your bread, you get your topping, you add, or you get the base, which is, whether it's nut butter, and it was like almond butter, peanut butter, and I think maybe something else. And then
a variety.
They had some other stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on, we have a menu right here. We could tell you.
Chia pudding bowls.
And then that was one I wanted to try, but the sizes of these things.
Sunflower seed butter.
Were, yes.
Yeah.
The sizes were huge. So it wasn't like you could get like a little like ramekin of chia pudding to try it. You were going to get like a monster bowl of chia pudding.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to commit to that because I ate that entire bowl of food.
He was hungry and it was fantastic. And they have locations in Tallahassee. They have 2 in Tallahassee, one in Fort Lauderdale, one in Gainesville, one in Tampa, and then Jacksonville.
This is the kind of concept I think that would do very well in a college town.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's perfect.
So I think that we lucked out in finding this place and going to check them out. The food was incredible.
Yeah.
Links in the show notes. All
yeah.
Right. But before we go on to talk about a bar that doesn't have a drop of alcohol, we do want to take a moment to thank our patrons of the show.
Some of whom are in the chat tonight.
Some are in the chat tonight, like Josh Osborne, our executive producer, like JoJo, who's our associate producer,
and Susie.
Like John and Susie. You guys are all incredible. And all of you are incredible. You guys that are sponsoring the show through our patronage program are really incredible because everything you see, if you're watching the video and if you're listening to the show, the mics that we're on and all this stuff was helped paid for by our show sponsors and patrons. So thank you guys so much for helping us to be able to do this and take this passion project to the next level.
As we head toward our 5th anniversary in June.
I was going to say, and we're going to bring it all full circle in June when we go back to the Tampa Beer Run, and we're going to bring that to you guys. We're so excited for that. And it's because of you. It really is.
I never imagined at that first race that we would have a 5th anniversary and have people who have supported us so passionately.
Yeah.
And can't tell you how much we appreciate that.
We really do. And if you would like to check out the patronage program, go to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. We have 6 levels of patronage set up.
Yes.
Fan, founder, and insider. Those are the original levels. And then we have accomplish, explore, and indulge, which gets you credits on things like IMDb for being a show producer. And just some extra, it's just extra appreciation from us. And it's a way for you to help us elevate the show, bring you more content, go to places we might not otherwise be able to go.
And have bonus food and beverage that might not make it onto the show. That we have content like that for patrons. We release video or have early access to very special interviews that we have from people in the running world, like Fitz. Yeah.
So go over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Check that out. Or if you're in the Podbean ecosystem, say you're listening to us on Podbean, just go to the top of the app and click on the button that says, does it say become a reward? And
unless
you click
they
on
changed it. Yeah.
And all the levels pop up there, exact same levels, exact same benefits.
Yes.
So the show itself,
always be free.
Always. But to get more, check us out, patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. And thank you guys so much for your continued support of the show.
Thirsty?
I was.
Yeah.
But because we were still on 75 hard, we couldn't have a alcoholic beverage
to celebrate.
So what's a person to do, Aim?
And it's not like we want to for 75 days, we have had alcohol removed wine cocktails. We've had
coffee, tea.
We've had Athletic Brewing.
Yes.
Has made some really great alcohol-free beverages that we have tried. And this place is no different. But it adds the ability to go out and celebrate and listen to live music and have just a great vibe and be around really friendly people on a weekend when you want to go out and have a little bit of fun and have that kind of environment. You can go to Wildcrafters booze-free bar.
Booze-free bar.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the world are they talking about?
Well, you knew.
Well, when you see that, though, you're like, what is this going to be? And then you click on, like, we're doing research online. Like, what is this? Oh, they are actually located kind of in I want to say that they're kind of near the whole 5 Points area, kind of like right where we were running.
Mm-hmm.
And what a cool spot. It was adjacent to a yoga studio.
Yes.
In a
massage
and a massage therapy place.
Yes.
So like you had like a massage therapist, a yoga place, and this bar that's alcohol free.
Sure.
And it's a Kava bar.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, what in the world is a Kava bar? And we don't have a lot of experience with Kava bar. We've got one locally here that we have like gone to their opening night. But we wanted to check this out, and the Kava is a root that is then processed and pounded or ground or dried or however they process it, and then steeped, kind of like a tea, I suppose, and then filtered.
Yeah.
And from their menu, it says traditional Kava is a drink prepared from the roots of the Piper methysticum, a plant native to the islands in the South Pacific, where it's used for natural relaxing and social enhancing qualities. Kava has historically been used by the South Pacific Islanders as a safe, natural alternative to drugs and alcohol because it can bring about significant mood-boosting, cognitive-enhancing, and anxiety-relieving effects. This allows users to loosen up and connect easier during social interaction. However, the main draw is that it provides these effects without any of the drunkenness that can impair fine motor skills and is completely non-addictive. It also provides a vast array of additional therapeutic effects that's been documented over generations. And they have this whole explanation of the history. You go there and the place is it's gorgeous. They got like exposed wood, like rafters, and the bartender the whole night.
Well, he's the owner as well.
And the owner.
Yeah.
Was rocking and rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Super busy the entire time. And he's making these cocktails. He had the cheat sheets up there, but he was doing most of them by memory.
I think he was doing it all by memory. I don't think he needed that at all. Personally, just watching him.
He was something else.
And watching him, he took great care in creating each cocktail. It could have been the first. It could have been the 50th. And he still treated it like it was the first,
And
with such great care, attention to detail.
If he put too much ice in a cocktail, he was pulling it out with tweezers 1 cube at a time.
Yeah.
He was decorating some of these mocktails, Cava drinks with edible flowers and sprigs of mint, and he was doing it the correct way where he would slap the mint leaves to just express the oils and not bruise the leaves to make it bitter.
We learned that early on in our show.
Yeah. He was doing all of these things, and I'm watching him the whole time. He probably thought we were, just freaks watching him so intently, but he was doing such a nice job of creating these beverages and creating just visually beautiful. I haven't seen the artwork yet. Do you have any of the colorful ones in the artwork?
I do. Yes.
Some of these cocktails were great, and they were using they steeped their cava there. All of their syrups are house made. The only garnish I saw that didn't look like it was house made or house prepped. There's a drink we're going to talk about here in a second that's garnished with a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Well, yes.
They don't make those.
No.
And
they had the 0 proof spirit kind of cocktail as well.
That's the other thing. They actually had the entire array of 0 proof spirits. There's a couple of companies that make them. Ritual is one.
Amass.
And Amass. AMASS.
All caps.
In all caps. And those products we've tried, and I think that if you know how to use them, you can get a better effect out of like creating the flavor profile you're looking for.
Yes.
They are not intended to really be drank by themselves.
No.
So if you
at least in my opinion.
In mine as well. So if you've got like other mixers like fruit juices and syrups and stuff like that, I think you can get a good effect.
Yeah.
And they did a really nice job. It reminded me a lot of a place that has since closed here locally called Apothecary.
Which we talked about on the show.
Which we did feature here. So I wanted to talk before we got into our cocktails.
Okay.
We tried the
They also had a cooler of non-alcoholic beer, including Athletic Brewing.
Yes.
I'm just going to say.
And I
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, and I wish we'd have checked it out sooner so we could have at least grabbed a couple of they had one flavor that we had not tried yet.
From Athletic Brewing, there's like a wit beer type. I really wanted to try.
But we tried, before getting into the cocktails, we tried the Kava by itself.
Yes.
Because we were curious, like, okay, what is this all about? What is the deal? And the Kava itself, it's cold. It's served cold. It's basically, like I said, it looks like a
coconut.
They served it in a coconut shell.
Yes.
And the appearance of it is like it's a milky off-white color.
Yes.
And the flavor, if you're having it by itself, and this is the traditional way to do it, for me, it was kind of like a weird cross between like a unfiltered cold pressed coffee with maybe a hint of like an herbal note on the end, maybe like a mint kind of.
Not really minty though.
But not mentholy.
Not minty or mentholy, yeah. It was very earthy.
Earthy is a great way to describe it.
And it's not, and I don't mean that it tasted like dirt, because it didn't.
No, well, it's basically the juice is juiced from a root vegetable.
Yeah.
Or a root. So
yeah. So it was just really earthy flavors. Almost like we don't do beets, but it's kind of
very rarely.
Kind of like that earthiness you have in a beet when you eat it. So
yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit of the bitterness of the coffee flavor. So
that's it plain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you get to the cocktails.
Which didn't taste like that.
Not at all.
No.
We got JoJo hopping out for the night. JoJo, you have a great night. Thank you for coming in and joining us live.
Yeah. Yeah. I do you want me to start with mine? Or do you want to start with yours?
Well, start with yours.
Well, I had something, they have creative and clever names on their cocktails. Pink Cadillac, the Runway, the Island Boy. I had the Dirty Diana.
Uh-huh.
I had the Dirty Diana. Oh, bye, Rhonda Lee. Take care and have a wonderful weekend. Which was Kava, peanut butter, coffee, oat milk, cacao, and coconut. I mean, it was just like a magical coffee beverage. Cold, and it's served cold, and it's served in like a cognac type glass.
Mm-hmm. Big snifter.
And snifter. And it's served with a peanut butter cup, which I didn't indulge in, but amazing. This beverage was just like, it was the fattiness of the oat milk that was so satisfying. And then the peanut butter flavor, which is those two things with the coffee and the chocolate, it was like a great dessert beverage, but not as heavy as, say, like a smoothie or milkshake. It was served over ice, in that glass. Mm-hmm. Just great, absolutely great. And I would have it again. And it was just, very tasty.
You let me have a sip of it. It reminded me of almost like a frappuccino type drink, but not as cloyingly sweet.
Yeah.
Great flavor though.
Yeah.
And the flavor of the kava kind of disappears. Like
it really does.
Earthiness.
I had the oat milk and the coffee and the peanut butter flavors. That's what I got. Yep. I didn't get, it says it on the menu that it has coconut. I didn't get so much coconut. It was the peanut butter, the coffee, the oat milk that I got. Delicious.
I'd agree.
Delicious. And you?
I wanted to go, they have their section of the menu that's the OG kava cocktails, and I wanted to get their take on a mule. And that's what they offered.
I loved yours.
Called the Cava Mule.
Loved it.
And this is a combination of kava, lime juice, ginger beer, and simple syrup. Very, very,
simple.
4 simple ingredients, one of which is simple. See what I did there?
I see what you did there, but sometimes just the more common and well-known ingredients in the right combinations just make the perfect beverage.
They do. And I think that there's a great combination there when you have lime, ginger beer, and a little bit of sweetener to kind of brighten that up. Mm-hmm. And that's your basis of the mule. The traditional, of course, Russian mule would have, instead of kava, it would have vodka. The Kentucky mule, instead of the kava, would have bourbon. But the Cava Mule, I thought that this was fantastic. Now, it is because of the kava being kind of a milky consistency or a milky look to it. It has that look to the drink, but the flavor was spot on. It was very pleasant.
What
very
was it garnished
bright,
with?
Garnished with some
dried
a dried lime wheel.
Nice.
It's bright, refreshing, a great drink for hot weather.
Oh yeah. And they had nice seating outside on the porch out back of the bar, and they had the window open. Oh,
the space is really cool. I mentioned that they had the exposed wood everywhere. They also have this big rollaway, it's like a combination, like a rollaway garage door, but it's all glass, and it's only, maybe 4 feet wide. And that's they can open that up and serve people out on the deck. Mm-hmm. And then inside they had little 2-person music act doing that was great. A lot of 90s music, which I thought was great.
Yeah. Very comfortable. Some couches, like a couch and some comfortable chairs. And
it has more of a coffee house feel than a bar feel.
Yeah.
Except at the bar. Mm-hmm. At the bar, it felt like a bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the drinks are priced like regular cocktails.
Yes.
So,
yes. Good to know.
You absolutely, are getting a craft cocktail when you go there, in spite of the fact that it's not going to contain alcohol. And the Cava, I don't know that I have enough experience with it. And, we did have a couple of other cocktails there with Cava, but I don't know that I would say that I felt any effect, but we were also in a relaxed environment and we were already feeling social and I mean, it was a very pleasant beverage to have, and they all tasted very different.
Yes.
Because I had from there, I also had something called the Joga, which is Kava, green tea, matcha, coconut, and a pistachio orgeat. That was absolutely killer.
Yeah. And
you had something else also, as I recall. What was that?
Well, I tried one of the 0 proof cocktails.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And that was the
it's named after an ape.
No, you also had something else.
That's
though.
all we can say.
Yeah, we can't say the name of this one on the show. But yeah, they had a number of
that was a gorgeous
options.
cocktail. That was a gorgeous, very colorful, beautiful.
And they had another one that went out to somebody else that they actually had like an element. One of the garnishes they had to set on fire because it was burning. It was burning sage, and the drink's called a witchy woman. Mm-hmm. And it had blueberry, sage, lime, Merlot salt, and they used the
Merlot salt. Who knew?
Yeah. So, and they use the Ritual 0 proof tequila alternative in that one.
Yes.
So it looked really interesting. Mm-hmm. So
I think
this place. What do you think?
I would go back. I think that they work hard and they achieve a great laid back environment where you can go and you can just hang out and listen to some great music and just be. It's a nice way to enjoy the weekend.
Oh, I thought so. Very much. Yeah. Very much so.
And celebrate.
The owner is doing it right there. We're going to have a link in the show notes also for this spot, and you've got to go and check them out if you're looking for an alternative to the regular post-dinner drink scene. This is something else that you should really consider as a great alternative.
Mm-hmm. And we got fabulous recommendations from everybody at the race weekend. I mean, they're all around that area, that Riverside area of town. We got some great recommendations from Amy from the Donna Foundation Board, who provided the drink coffee sign that you see on our set from our weekly live chats.
Yes.
And like Prospect, like Amanda talked about, that I can't wait to get to. And just so many others. I think Amy mentioned a Thai place. I think that area of town is worth exploring and indulging as far as food and beverage goes.
Absolutely. And
so thank you to her for that.
It's also very well traveled, super accessible by rideshare. So very easy. Go up there, run a race, rideshare in, have a great time that night, and you'll thank us later. So links in the show notes for all that we've talked about this weekend or on this week's episode. Guys, do us a favor. Head over to Apple Podcasts. We're in need. We need your help.
We need we're looking for some new ratings and reviews, and we want to make you famous reading them on the show.
Yes. The Apple algorithm really likes recent ratings and reviews, and it helps us get discovered. So if you'd head over there, spend a couple of minutes, tell the world why you love the Run, Eat, Drink podcast and give us 5 stars.
We would
if we've earned it.
And we would appreciate it.
We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. And that wraps up another great episode. Thank you all so much for listening, for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink podcast. And on Twitter, We're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.